to the last Pasadena Monthly of 2023. I'm your host, Justin Chapman. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a lovely holiday season. After taking a look at what's been going on in Pasadena this past month, we'll speak with our guest, Aghajanian, this year's president of the Tournament of Roses. But before we get started, let's check out these Pasadena media news briefs.
This year's 2024 Rose Parade will kick off by celebrating a world of music, the universal language, with the opening spectacular featuring musical performances by David Archuleta, Cassidy Pope, Michelle Williams, and Rush Davis. And that's not all. Explore Louisiana presents the mid-parade performance featuring Louisiana's own Sean Ardoin, James Burton, and Amanda Shaw. Join us Monday, January 1st, 2024 to experience the floats and bands celebrate a world of music as they parade down Colorado Boulevard and ring in the new year.
On Friday, December 1st, 2023, the Pasadena Tournament of Roses president Alex Aghajanian announced Audra McDonald, multi-award-winning singer and actress, as the 2024 Grand Marshal of the 135th Rose Parade. A Juilliard-trained soprano, founding member of Black Theater United, and board member of Covenant House International, Audra McDonald has been awarded a record-breaking 6 Tony Awards, 2 Grammy Awards, and an Emmy Award. She's also the recipient of the National Medal of Arts Award from President Barack Obama and was named one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. Audra is the embodiment of this year's theme, celebrating a world of music.
Once again, Audra McDonald.
The Pasadena Senior Center has received an anonymous donation of $1.25 million. We are thrilled and extremely grateful that this generous benefactor believes in the important work we do, said Akila Gibbs, the center's executive director, in a statement. The Pasadena community is aging faster than most other cities of the same population size, so this makes our presence and work all the more vital. The Pasadena Senior Center promotes social interaction, recreation, education, basic services, community participation, and volunteerism. Some of the donated funds will be invested in the center's endowment, and the rest will support general operations as needed for the next 4 years. The Pasadena City Council adopted Pasadena Water and Power's 2023 Integrated Resource Plan. This guides how the city meets its energy needs. This approval follows months of commission and committee meetings where Pasadena residents insisted that the plan should accomplish more. In addition to the City Council's approval of the plan, it calls for Pasadena Water and Power to return with an optimized version of the plan by June of 2024. And to hire a third-party consultant for review and to bring regular updates to the Council and Municipal Services Committee. Once the updates are complete, Pasadena Water and Power will conduct cost of service and rate studies that are expected to also be completed in 2024.
Let's turn next to our lightning round of news updates. 1. The City of Pasadena has created the new Rent Stabilization Department and appointed Philip LeClaire as its interim executive director. LeClaire was previously the director of the city's IT department and served as acting assistant city manager last year. The board is also considering a proposed $6.6 million budget for the department's first year, a 22.5-person initial staff, and 5 operating divisions: administration and policy, public information and outreach, hearings, rent registration, and legal. Beehive, the board's consultant, proposed that the board charge landlords an annual fee of $213 per rental unit to fund the board's operations, as stipulated in Measure H. In 2024, the board will establish a hearings division and petition process, which will allow landlords to petition for an additional increase in rent if they're not making a fair return, and allow tenants to petition for a rent reduction if their homes do not meet certain habitability standards or if they believe they're being charged an unlawful rent. The board also approved a 3-year, $269,000 contract with 3DI Inc. for the implementation, operation, and maintenance of a rental registry portal. For questions about Measure H, email rentalboard@cityofpasadena.net. 2. The Pasadena Unified School District reached an agreement with the United Teachers of Pasadena Union for 2023 to 24 that includes a 10% salary increase on top of a 10% increase last year and additional health benefits after a protracted negotiation period. Meanwhile, applicants to be the next superintendent of PUSD have until March 15th to submit their applications. Interviews will be conducted in April, and the new hire is expected to start July 1st. And the school board selected Kim Kenny as its president for the 2024 calendar year. A PUSD consultant, Davis Demographics, predicted that PUSD's student enrollment could decrease by 26% by the 2029 to 30 school year, mostly due to declining birth rates. That would ultimately, of course, mean the closure of more schools in Pasadena. West Pasadenans were worried they would lose their last public school, San Rafael Elementary, but the school board recently decided to award $35 million of Measure O funding for capital improvements, including upgraded and improved bathroom facilities, a renovation of the existing facility, and electric and water infrastructure enhancements. 3. 2 black police officers have filed claims against the city and the Pasadena Police Department for allegations of racial discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. The city and police department dispute the allegations. Also, independent police auditor Richard Rosenthal reported to the Community Police Oversight Commission on a possible city charter amendment that could strengthen police oversight by implementing an independent police monitor (IPM) model, which would have more authority than the current IPA model. 4. Human Rights Campaign released its Municipal Equality Index rankings, a nationwide evaluation of how inclusive 506 cities' laws, policies, and services are of LGBTQ people. Pasadena's score is 91, compared to 87 last year. 5. The nomination period for the March 5th, 2024 City Council election is now over, and the candidates are set. Mayor Victor Gordo is running for re-election with one challenger, Alan Shea. In District 1, Councilmember Tyrone Hampton will run unopposed for his third term. In District 2, Councilmember Felicia Williams will face off against challenger Rick Cole, former mayor of Pasadena. In District 3, Councilmember Justin Jones will face off against challenger Brandon Lamar. In District 4, Councilmember Gene Masuda will face off against challengers John Doyle and Jonathan Horton. If no candidate receives more than 50% of the vote in the March 5th primary, the top 2 vote-getters in each race will advance to the November 5th general election. In District 6, Councilmember Steve Madison, who was installed as vice mayor this month for 1 year, will run unopposed for his 7th term. PUSD school board races won't be decided until November, when Districts 2, 4, and 6 will be up for election. The nomination period will be open in July and August. 6. Councilmember Judy Chu presented a $900,000 federal grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration to the Pasadena Outreach Response Team, or PORT, which is a collaboration between the city's public health and fire departments, Union Station Homeless Services, and Huntington Health that provides support to people experiencing homelessness and related issues. The City Council also voted to transfer $120,000 from the Housing Department to the Public Health Department to provide weather-activated motel voucher services. Meanwhile, Friends Indeed, in partnership with the City and Trinity Lutheran Church, will reopen its annual bad weather shelter on January 15th after a 3-year hiatus due to COVID. And on the night of January 23rd and the morning of January 24th, volunteers will fan out across the city to count and administer a survey to people experiencing homelessness for the annual homeless count. 7. The City Council voted to add 3 charter amendment ballot measures in the March 5th general election related to city financial procedures, procurements, settlements, and legal claims, and contract selection and alternative project delivery methods for capital improvement and infrastructure projects. The city's new Charter Study Task Force is currently studying other areas for charter reform, including the council's vacancy appointment process, including special elections, vice mayoral appointments, timing of mayoral elections, council term limits, council compensation and family care benefits, and council campaign contribution limits. 8. The City Council approved the Water and Power Department's proposed Power Integrated Resource Plan, which is required by the state every 5 years and identifies multiple scenarios for the city to transition to the council's policy mandate of utilizing 100% carbon-free electricity by 2030. Pasadena is moving forward with a scenario that utilizes solar and storage to meet the city's energy needs. However, because many in the community and in attendance, such as the Pasadena 100 Coalition, said the plan doesn't go far enough, the council required Water and Power to submit an optimized plan no later than June 2024, developed with an independent green energy expert consultant to actually go carbon-free by 2030. 9. The city will implement strategic zoning changes to expand the bioscience industry. Pasadena is already a hub for science research and development, and these revised zoning regulations will streamline the process for establishing life science facilities in the city and continue to attract the top companies in the field. And 10. The cities of Pasadena and South Pasadena have partnered to implement a set of design strategies that will result in improving the water quality in the Arroyo Seco channel. An environmental document has been released for public review, and Pasadena Public Works is accepting written comments through January 15th. Let's patch in our guest, Alex Aghajanian, this year's president of the Tournament of Roses. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Alex.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Alex will provide leadership for the 135th Rose Parade and the 110th Rose Bowl game this Monday, January 1st. Throughout his extensive Tournament of Roses career, which began in 1989, he has served on and chaired various committees, including Budget and Finance, Communications and Credentials, Formation, Music, Parade Policy, and Queen and Court. Professionally, he is an attorney with the law offices of Alex P. Aghajanian in Pasadena. In 2010, he and his wife Paula founded Dream With Me Foundation, where he serves as president and a member of the board of directors. The nonprofit organization provides students and non-professional musicians of all ages accessibility to vocal and instrumental performance, education, and training through scholarships and grants. He was also formerly an elected member of the PUSC School Board and the Altadena Town Council. And Alex, I was on the town council as well, actually, back in 2005 to 2007 when I was 19.
Good for you. It's great to serve on that council. Sorry?
What years were you on?
I did it in the early 90s.
Okay.
When we were reformulating the council a bit.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So why did you decide back in 1989 to get involved with the tournament?
Well, in 1989, that was the year that I finally was able to join, but I really wanted to be a member from the time I was just a young lad. My parents had a house on the disbanding side of the parade, and all the Western cowboy stars would park their horses and trailers and everybody in front of my house. And my father would invite them in to tell me stories. So I'd be sitting in my living room with Monty Montana, George Putnam, and others telling me these fantastic stories. And then from my house, my front porch, you could see the floats, because at that time, they parked them in Victory Park. So I always knew I wanted to be a white suitor. I wanted to be in tournament. 89 was just the first year that I could do it. And in fact, I actually tried to join in 88, but they rejected my application.
And little did they know.
Little did they know all these years later.
So tell us about this year's theme and Grand Marshal and your thought process in making those selections.
So the theme came about where the president's family, my wife and my kids, were talking about themes. And we had a list of about 100 different ideas for themes, but none of them had this theme on it. Because at about 2 o'clock in the morning one night, I woke straight up out of bed, sat up, tapped my wife on the shoulder and said, "Dear, wake up, I've got the theme." She said, "What?" And I said, "I have the theme." And I said, "We need to write this down because neither one of us is going to remember this in the morning." And I told her it was celebrating a world of music. She said, "Great, dear," wrote it down. And thank God we wrote the theme down, because we forgot what I talked about in the middle of the night.
That's hilarious. And the Grand Marshal, Audra McDonald, of course, very accomplished, almost an EGOT or EGOT.
Great.
And has won 6 Tonys, 2 Grammys, Primetime Emmy, and also, of course, very involved with social justice advocacy. Talk to us about that selection.
Well, so as part of what the president and the president's family does, they get to select the Grand Marshal. So we had a very short list of Grand Marshals to select from. And as you laid out her credentials, she fits this theme perfectly. She's won an award from the EGOT, and that's an Oscar, and she's in a couple of movies, so maybe she'll get that Oscar soon. She's a fantastic performer, a wonderful human being. She has local roots to Fresno, up here where she grew up, and she told us a story about when she was younger. Her father has some family members, and they were called the McDonald sisters or McDonald Act. And she would sing with them in church and other places. And they told her she had a nice little voice. Little did they know when they said that to her that she turned into this mega star with 6 Tony Awards, 3 before she was 30, and internationally known. But she fits the theme so well that it was just a great choice for us. And I'm glad she said yes for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of social justice advocacy, tell us about the progress the tournament has made in terms of diversity over the years. It's come a long way, right?
Well, the tournament's come a long way. We're a big tent. Everyone is welcome. If you just look at the executive committee and who's reflected there, we enjoy having all different backgrounds. I'm a lawyer. There's school teachers, barbers, everybody and anybody are welcome to come participate with us. Justin, you can come join us. Just fill out that application. We got a barricade just for you, Justin.
All right, sounds good. Talk to us about the changes in the college football playoffs and the fact that the Rose Bowl game may not always be played at 2 p.m. on January 1st going forward. How will that impact the Rose Parade in the tournament, if at all?
So we still don't know what that model is going to look like. So for the next few years, everything's going to stay the same. I don't have a lot to add to that right now because it's still in flux. Everyone is still trying to figure out what the model is going to be. But we always want to be where we are now, 2 p.m. on the 1st. I believe that will always be the case, but that's still something that's a number of years down the road before we figure that out.
Mhm. And the parade is almost like a partnership between the tournament and the city of Pasadena. In many ways, it's Pasadena's public face to the world. What is that relationship like right now?
Well, I wouldn't use the word almost like. It is a partnership.
Sure.
For 135 years, we've stood shoulder to shoulder, putting the parade on, doing the game, doing the ostrich racing and chariot racing around the city before the football game. We have been doing this together, and it's a wonderful relationship. And in fact, several times this week, I've had meetings with city officials about how the parade's going to go forward, all the different responsibilities for everyone. And so it's just been a wonderful relationship throughout the time that we've had the city involved with us for that 135 years.
Great. And I understand the parade will be live streamed for the first time this year. The tournament's a heavily tradition-based organization. So tell us about its process of adopting new technologies. Are we going to see more changes in the coming years?
Any organization has to grow, right? Any organization has to evolve. So what the tournament took a look at was our broadcasts. And we have wonderful broadcast partners, but because of the format they have to follow, they can't show everything in the parade. Just 15, 20 years ago, every parade element was shown. So what the tournament is doing a broadcast to do what we did 20 years ago. We're going to show every single element, every band, every equestrian, every float. And we're going to put that out there for people to watch the broadcast. Give the viewers a choice. That technology advancement that allows us to do that is things that the tournament is continually looking at to do. So if you want to see not an old school broadcast, but a traditional broadcast, turn into our live stream. I think it's going to be very well done. Just in a meeting about that as well. We have a lot of interesting entertainment elements and a lot of different things that just people are going to enjoy seeing. The theme this year is celebrating a world of music lends itself to just a fun atmosphere, which our live stream will show.
And where can people find the live stream?
We're going to put out a release for that. We've got several channels that we're going to do that with. So we'll put out a press release. We'll make sure you get a copy of it. So that you can also include it in whomever your platform reaches out to with instructions how to get there. Okay.
Great. All right. Looking forward to it. And why do you think, bigger picture, why do you think the Rose Parade has become such an enormous global really phenomenon and had such a lasting impact for 135 years? And then also on the local level, what does it mean to the Pasadena community?
So let's start locally with Pasadena first. With the partnership we have with the city and the local areas that we are involved with, the parade helps bring people in. There's a standing joke that people see the mountains and the blue skies and another 50,000 people are going to move here. It creates such a wonderful atmosphere of celebration, and people just look to the city, look to the tournament for that celebration. And we've been doing that, as I said earlier, for the 135 years of this parade. And what it does is put this really wonderful spotlight on the city, on the tournament, and the people that are in this area. And people enjoy that celebration. People want to tune into that celebration. People want to have some fun with it. So this year, for example, I've been traveling all around the country and 3 or 4 spots in the world and telling people to tune in, and hopefully they're going to listen to the music and enjoy the time. And we bring people together. We unify people. That's what this year's theme is about, to unify people, bring people together and enjoy, the music this year. And I think that's why the parade has grown the way it is, because yes, we're traditional. We have a lot of family values, but people can depend on the fact that there's this wonderful celebration coming from Pasadena that they can tune into and enjoy.
And it's not unusual to see protesters at the parade, typically at the end. There's reports that the striking hotel workers, pro-Palestinian demonstrators may protest. How does the tournament prepare for those types of incidents?
Each year brings challenges to stage the parade. The Pasadena Police Department is doing a wonderful job in preparing for that. People have a right to express their First Amendment opinions. And so the protesters at the end of the parade have done that every year that I've been involved for 35 years. The hotel workers and the other protesters have a right to express their opinions. Hopefully that they do so and the police department's working with them. So I don't anticipate a problem.
Great. So what should people expect on Monday?
So what people should expect on Monday with the theme that we have is a very entertaining, engaging parade. We have entertainment units, 4 separate entertainment units. Almost every float has music on it, different acts, different things going on. If you can't come out live to see it with the other 750,000 of our closest friends on the parade route, tune in on the TV. And I hope what starts happening is as the music starts, you start tapping your finger. And then all of a sudden you're tapping your foot. And then you jump off the couch and join in the song and just have a great time. And it brings family and friends around the world together.
Well, Alex, thank you so much for taking time out of the busiest week of the year for you guys. Just a couple days away from the parade. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us. And best of luck for a seamless parade this Monday.
Thank you, Justin. You're going to be out there in the parade route with us?
I will. I'll be on the stands.
All right. I'll wave at you when I go by.
All right.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Before we go, here is this month in Pasadena history. It was this month in 1940 when the Arroyo Seco Parkway was completed, billed as America's first freeway. The full 8-mile stretch had its official grand opening on December 30th, 1940. A Rose Parade Queen was there to cut the ribbon. The freeway was shut down in October of this year for Arroyo Fest, opening it up to pedestrians and cyclists for the second time, the first being in 2003. Long before the freeway first opened, though, for less than a decade starting in 1900, there was a planned 9-mile-long, elevated, 50-foot-tall wooden bike pathway intended to connect Pasadena and LA called the California Cycleway. However, only 1.3 miles of it was built, starting at Hotel Green and ending near the site of the first Raymond Hotel. The Cycleway's right-of-way later became part of the Arroyo Seco Parkway. Thank you all so much for watching Pasadena Monthly in 2023. We're excited to head back into the studio in 2024. Tune in at fourth Friday of the month at 5 p.m. Learn more at pasadenamedia.org and justindouglaschapman.com. Drop me a line at jchapman@cityofpasadena.net. We hope you're having a lovely and relaxing holiday season. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 24.